Hello, ACPS families. My name is Dr. Marcia Jackson, and I am the Executive Director of Student Services in the Department of Student Services and Equity for ACPS. And I am joined by none other than
Welcome to HBS family. I am Bill Pfister. I'm the president of the Alexandria Council PTA, also known as PTAC.
and we are so excited to welcome you and your children back into our school buildings as we begin hybrid learning. If your family selected the hybrid model on the family choice form, then this video is especially for you.
Excellent. And I would like to start by thanking all of the teachers and ACPS staff for all the work they're doing. I'd also like to thank all the other families out there. This isn't ideal, this isn't easy, but we will get through this. We know this isn't quite like other first days of school, so we want to cover some of the basics and answer a few questions that families have shared with us most frequently. So the first question we have out there is, when is my student actually starting in person?
Thank you so much for that question. It depends on when a particular student will start school. Unlike traditional school years, there isn't one day when all students will come back for in-person learning. Students participating in the hybrid model will come back depending on their grade level and their participation in our English language services or special education services. So just to give you some dates, on March 2nd, the students we will welcome back into our schools include our students in grades K through 5 who will receive special education services in one of our citywide self-contained full day programs, as well as students who are in grades K through 5 who receive special education services in reading and math in a self-contained setting, as well as our early childhood special education students in grades K through 5 who also receive English language services. We are looking to support our most vulnerable students as we reopen schools. And so then looking at March the 9th, we'll welcome back an additional group of students who include our middle school students as well as our high school students who receive special education services in our citywide self-contained programs, as well as those reading and math services that are also offered in self-contained classroom. Again, our newcomer English language learners in grades 6 through 12. So we have that's two groups of students that I've mentioned, or several groups of students. So depending on where your students fall, they will return. And finally, on March 16th, the week of March 16th, we will welcome back the remaining hybrid students who have selected to participate in in-person learning in grades pre-K through 12, whose families did select on the family choice form. Please keep in mind that our hybrid students will attend school in person for 2 days each week. They will either be on the Tuesday, Wednesday schedule or the Thursday, Friday schedule. Monday will continue to be an asynchronous learning day for all of our students. Also keep in mind that student schedules will be mailed out or emailed out to families at least 1 week before their child's scheduled start date for in-person learning. I know that's a lot of information. That's why we wanted to record it and make sure you could go back and watch it and see where your student might fall in that return to school.
Great, thank you so much. Moving on to the next question. So parent-teacher conferences, we actually received some awesome news that one of our children's teachers is pregnant. So she is expecting in May. And so that kind of led us to the question of, so who will actually be teaching our children in the classrooms? Because we know there are many different reasons why teachers may or may not be coming back in person.
Absolutely. And thank you so much for that question as well. Most of our students will continue learning with their current teacher. In some cases, that will be with their teacher actually in the classroom. In other cases, it will look something like the teacher will be on the computer as they are now, and there will be a monitor to assist the students who are actually in person in that classroom. And the role of the monitor is really to make sure that the students are engaging with the teacher who might be online. And we're still in the process of finalizing exactly which classrooms will need monitors based on a teacher's actual ability to return. And the teachers and the classroom monitors will work very closely together, and that information will be sent out to families again via email, along with the student schedules, to let families know which of their students will be participating with the teacher on site and which would be participating with the teacher online.
Excellent, thank you. And so speaking of bringing things to school, being in, what should my children bring to the classroom with them?
Absolutely. Great question again. These are wonderful questions. One of the things is that we know with the COVID, mask wearing has been recommended as one of the mitigating measures. So we are asking all of our students when they come to school that they do have a mask. However, if for some reason they forget it, we know we're dealing with children. We will have some available, but they should also bring their learning packets, any tablets or Chromebooks or iPads. We want them to have their chargers and their headphones, anything really that they're using now at home to get their virtual learning done. We want them to bring those things to school, those tools, those aids that will help them. Some basic school supplies, something to write with, maybe some paper. Uh, the children can bring their own meal from home if they choose to. However, we will be providing breakfast and lunch to all of our students for free. So parents don't necessarily have to send their children with a lunch. Breakfast and lunch will be provided at school.
That's very helpful to know. And I will even add one other element that we've also been asked about is personal devices. We know that we're not supposed to bring our own personal digital devices because we can't connect those to the network and keep the network safe. So any personal Chromebooks, laptops, iPads, and such, please do leave those at home.
Absolutely.
And so that's what we have at school. So how are we getting to school? Is there bus transportation?
There is bus transportation that is going to be provided. However, due to our physical distancing, we can't put as many children on the bus as we normally would. We want to make sure that our students are safe from the time they get on the bus, if they ride a bus, to the time that they get to school and are, headed back home. So if a child is eligible for school bus transportation, it will be provided. Uh, Parents will receive information about their assigned bus stop and their route. Keep in mind that, again, like I said, we will have physical distancing on the bus. So because we have to transport a smaller number of kids, it might require us to make multiple runs. And so parents want to pay close attention to those bus routes and the bus information to know when to have their child at their particular bus stop. We are encouraging families, if they are able to walk their child to school, if they're able to bring their child to school, that is so helpful to us as we are trying to figure out how to make sure that we get all of our students to school safely with the physical distancing requirements. So if families are able to drop off their students, they should check in with their school principal to know which entrance they should bring their child to and what door they can bring their child to, because some parents have asked, can I walk my child to school? Can I, is there, can I drop them off at the door? So yes, you can bring them to school. We encourage it, and we need you. We would love to partner with you around transportation because it is something that is very different for us this year. So thank you for that question.
Great, of course. And so we know the school day is going to look different, but we want to make sure that everyone is healthy and safe while they are there. Are there things that we can do to help prepare our children? Like we've been having our kids pick out a mask that they like so that we know that they're comfortable. What else can we do to help ensure that our children are following safety measures when they are on campus?
One of the things I'm looking forward to is seeing our students in their different masks. They have so much personality, and the masks just really tell the whole story, right? So safety has always been a priority for us, but now more than ever, safety is at the forefront of everything. Our planning and our decision making is all around how do we keep our kids and our staff and everybody safe who might enter our schools. And so we do have the health and safety protocols that we are going to be following in our schools, and we want to make sure that as our families are returning, that you have a chance to review the back to school guide for hybrid learning with your child. There's also a video called A Day in the Life of. It's a back to school video that parents can watch with their children to help them understand what's it going to look like when I go walk back into my school. What are the expectations going to be for me? And parents can really start to have conversations with their children about how things are going to look different. What are the expectations that are going to be in place for all of us? Things like wearing masks while at school, keeping 6 feet of physical distance from other students and other staff members. Students are going to have their temperature checked when they enter the building. They're going to be eating their lunch in their classrooms, and they're going to be washing and sanitizing their hands regularly, which is something that they have done in school anyway, but it's going to be definitely more frequent. And these things are going to be expectations. And let them know that the adults are going to be there to support them and help them every step of the way, just like we've been doing all along. So they will have visual reminders as well as verbal reminders of what the expectations are uh, for our students as they re-enter our school building.
Great, thank you. So we know that our families have many more questions. So over the next few weeks, our schools will be hosting parent meetings to discuss in detail what hybrid learning will look like for the school community. We invite you to participate in those meetings. We also invite you to review the frequently asked questions online. Now, sometimes these can be a little bit boring, but I guarantee you they were recently refreshed and they really contain a lot of information. I've read through them. It took me a few minutes, but it was really worthwhile. And I encourage you to take a look because a lot of your questions will be answered.
Absolutely. And I just echo what Bill has shared. We want to make sure that you are up to date on any information that you need. So we encourage you to make sure you are reading that ACPS Express email newsletter and that you revisit. If you've been there before, just revisit because the information is being updated quite frequently. Revisit that reentry plan section on the ACPS website as well as the frequently asked questions. And we are pretty confident that we will have answered most of your questions. So we really appreciate you for tuning in today. We are looking forward to your return and we will see you at school.